Morrons hacks.
Hello everyone, it's the Morrons hacks, and today's video I'll show you my girlfriend's car which I take today for a ride to wash it. Yes, I promised to wash it, and I take her car, and this is her car after my driving. Oh, I'm just kidding. Her car is this red one A3 Audi 1.9 TDI. It's from 98 with ALH engine code. It's actually a very nice red. I think it's repainted, but it's not by me. You can look at her. I'll now show it. You can buy such cars from 1,000 euro to 2,000–3,000 euro in perfect condition. As you see, the car looks outside completely stock, no any modification, no bumpers, just the stock rims, 15-inch rims with original Audi caps on them. And from behind, A3, the first A3 before the facelift. It's very reliable cars, and these 5 symbols here, 1.9 TDI, actually 6 symbols, sorry, means really, this means a lot. If you see this, that means that this car has a large potential to be faster even than a stock S3. This also means a reliability, a nice fuel consumption. Of course, this also means that the car has from factory 90 horsepower. This is a ALH engine, as I said, with 90 horsepower. But I have to say that I don't think that this car is 90 horsepower anymore, and here is the reason why. Let's look inside the car. You see a nice interior. Always check the interior of the car you are buying, because the interior talks about how, in what condition is all the car. Because as you know, if the previous owner was shitty bastard and have damaged all the interior, it's very possible for the car to be technically very damaged, very used. Of course, always looked in these parts of the car, under the doors where there is rust often. This car is not rust free too, because it's from Austria, where when there is snow, there is a bad chemicals on the road which destroy, as you know, destroy the whole paint of the car. So I was talking you about the power of this engine. Before that, I showed you this Recaro, which is a nice, very nice interior. It's not leather, but I don't like leather interior. This is much better because your ass don't get sweat when it's 30 and more degrees outside in the summer, when you are going to the beach to have some beaches. And I'm now showing you why this car is not 90 horsepower as it's from factory. And the reason for that is this graphic, which will tell us more about the power of this particular car, my girlfriend's car. So initially, my girlfriend didn't want to touch to personalize her car, because often when I buy a car, I always try to add new rims, to add new muffler, sport exhaust, suspension, brakes. You know, you have to feel your car to be yours by tuning it, by making some mods, by personalizing it. That's what every car guy do. And my girlfriend, you know, she's a girl, she didn't want to change anything outside. She didn't want to have this straight pipes, which if it was my car, I would have put straight pipe on this car, because 1.9 TDI makes whoop, as you know, when it's straight pipe from the turbo. It's very nice sound. It's more aggressive if you use stainless steel pipes. But however, let's return to this. So she didn't want me to change anything, and I decided to change under the hood, but not to add some parts which will be seen from the bumper, like a bigger intercooler. This was not an option, so I have to stick to the stock parts of the car and to use this hardware, which, as I said, 1.9 TDI ILH engine with only 90 horsepower. And do you know what I did? I just changed the nozzles. I changed the nozzles of every deuce with new Bosch nozzles, 0.216, which are used for 5-cylinder 2.5 liter TDI in Audi A3, 140 horsepower. So I changed them, have them mounted on the car, and more fuel is being spread in the engine, so we have more fuel. After that, I went for a chip tuning, so they can modify my injection system and to tune it a little bit. And after that, after changing the nozzles and having a remap of my stock software, I got max clutch power, this engine power of 150, almost 5 horsepower at the engine, and the max clutch torque 353 Newton meters. You can see the graph. It's really a nice looking graph, starting from 1700 RPM. It's rising, and you see that at the level of 3500 RPM you've got all these 115 horsepower, which you can use until the end of the RPMs to 4000 and almost 700 RPM, which for a diesel are a lot of RPMs. But as you see the graph, this car works better than and goes better than a petrol engine car, because it has a boost at low range RPMs, and it has a horsepower even on high RPMs. The stock graph of a diesel you have often seen is something like this, hope, and then these RPMs, the diesels often have no any power left. But I wanted to be this way, so I told my mapper, just make this car work well on high RPMs. The engine is durable enough to handle that power. So we've got a little sleeper, which look absolutely stock, but actually all these three should be red, because this car has, as I said, 155 horsepower. So I've done this, nothing is changed. Of course my girlfriend noticed that, because when you go on the pedal, and the car is very different from previous state where there was no such modification. It's very nice to use. Where on the, she admitted that she liked it more like that, but initially she didn't want me to touch her car. So now she is happy with the more power. Of course the fuel consumption is not damaged at all. Using all new nozzles gave me even more fuel consumption. So I got more power, 60 horsepower more, 65 more horsepower, more torque, and I get a nice, very nice fuel consumption. This car, if she drives in the city, she drives extremely calm. She can get about 7 to 7.5 liters, depending on the traffic and whether it's winter or summer. But I have to admit that my best is about 7.5, and my average consumption is about 8 liters per 100 kilometers in the city. This is urban drive. Of course extra urban is very economical, because you can get 4.5 to 5 if you drive not more than 120 kilometers per hour, which is not slow, of course. But if I drive it pedal to the metal with 160, 180 kilometers per hour, the car easily, very easily goes to about 6 liters per 100 kilometers extra urban drive, and maybe 6.5. I have never seen numbers like 7. Even if I drive it with 200 kilometers on the highway, I haven't seen more than 6.5. So extremely economical, very nice, and for the city, because it's very easy to park. It's a small car with 2 doors, which is not always a good thing. But let's show you the interior from the other side. It's a perfect sleeper, because, as you know, someone when see these wheels, he told you this car and see the badge 1.9 TDI with no red symbols, he said, this is slow. And he stays with shocked mind when this little TDI makes him 2-3 cars in 500 meters distance between the traffic lights. Okay, now let's see the interior. When you look for these cars, if you buy 2-door car, there is a problem that with time the 2-door cars often can't hear. It's not matching perfectly because the door is heavy, and during the years there are some problems here that happened. So the interior, as you see here, it's not already damaged so much. It has some initial damage, but not too much. This wheel, I love these Audi wheels, they are very nice. You see here some girl stuff like this. I thought that this should be black because Sven is black. As you know, this game, I think this is his whore, and he is doing her all day and night here on the back seat. Something that we should envy on him. And some winter tools there. So let's show you the engine of this nice 1.9 TDI. Of course, you have to look, these cars have problems with the starters often when they have a lot of mileage on them. I have changed the starter of this one. I have removed the cover of the engine. You can see here the pump. When you look for your 1.9 TDI, you should smell the pump or try to see if when the car is working, if there are some leaks from here, some oil leaks. As I said, it's good to check in the starter. And another thing is the steering rack. This car has a problem now with the steering rack, and I will change it soon with refurbished one. Of course, you have to look for a turbo. If there is a problem with the turbo, the car often stops at 100 kilometers per hour and goes in emergency mode. So that is 1.9 TDI, my girlfriend's car, which I took for a ride and which I tuned. And she didn't know that I have tuned it, but she felt it and she liked it. So if you are wondering whether to tune your girlfriend's car, do it, she will like it. But don't get with these bumpers, don't paint it in black and so on. just do under the hood some things which I think she will like it. Okay, let's see how this 1.9 TDI started. As you see, extremely fast starting engine. It has a Climatronic with large display, because some models have smaller display here. It doesn't have a lot of extras, but it's still a nice, very nice car for the city. Oh, you see the ABS lamp is now yellow. That's another problem that sometimes disappear. I have to check, maybe it's the pump or bad connection somewhere. So that is how sounds 1.9 TDI. Of course, when you tune it, it's possible to have much more smoke, but when you have tuned it properly and use a new nozzles, you shouldn't have a significant difference. Here there are mirrors on the low, and well, very nice 1.9 TDI car. It's very interesting when you beat a bigger car, for example BMWs with 160-170 horsepower. They couldn't stand a chance to this small 155 horsepower car. So it's really a nice sleeper. This car can go beyond 200 horsepower. It can even reach 300 horsepower. But you have to change the intercooler, the exhaust system, bigger turbo. This is with the stock turbo, and do you know it's working on 1.2 hot boost bar in bars, and the turbo is working fine, not too much pressure, because if you tune it too much, it can blow somewhere to leave you on the highway, and that's not good. So thank you very much for watching this review. I'll show you some acceleration and driving and POV driving of this car. The next time I get it from her, from my girlfriend, I'll take it for a little ride, maybe in the mountain or on some curvy roads, so that I can stay on her. For now, it's not my beer, but salute. And subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and view some more reviews and some other things we do. Stupid, of course, but we do it for you. Thank you. Bye.